Imagine for a second that you're just, walking into a room and you are completely transported. You step into this $1 million event and everything around you just feels totally effortless.
Right. It's like stepping into another world.
Exactly. It feels like the room just organically grew this way.
Yeah.
You've got cascading flowers perfectly framing the lighting. The guests are flowing seamlessly.
And the music swells at just the exact right moment.
Yeah, it's magical. But behind that effortless magic is actually this highly synchronized, intensely stressful, and rigorously structured machine.
Oh, it really is the ultimate illusion. I mean, you're looking at hundreds, sometimes thousands of hours of intense logistical planning, all designed specifically to look like it required zero effort.
Which is wild. So today, we're looking under the hood of that machine in this deep dive. Our mission is to uncover the secret blueprint of the luxury wedding industry.
And we're using a really fascinating industry guide for this, right?
We are. It's titled How Florists Can Become Go-To Partners for Luxury Planners. And, if you're listening to this and you write software or maybe you run a consulting agency, you might be thinking, why do I care about wedding flowers?
Yeah, fair question.
But look closely at this dynamic. This isn't really a guide about arranging peonies. It's a total masterclass in B2B relationship building. It's about premium service, risk mitigation, and basically making yourself completely invaluable to the people writing the checks in any high-stakes environment.
I love that framing because the stakes really are the defining factor here. I mean, to break into the luxury market, you first have to understand its gatekeepers.
Right. And in this world, who are the gatekeepers?
In this world, the gatekeepers are the elite wedding planners. A luxury planner is essentially the CEO of a one-night-only corporation.
A one-night-only corporation. I like that.
Yeah, because they're managing massive budgets, really intense family dynamics, complex vendor teams, and all these variables they can't control. Like the weather.
The weather. The ultimate wild card.
Exactly. Their entire professional reputation is riding on this live performance where they just cannot afford a single mistake. So, because of that crushing pressure, they aren't looking for someone to just drop off centerpieces. They are desperately looking for a true partner.
And the source material actually drives that point home right away with a rule they call listening before designing.
Which is so crucial.
It is. The guide argues that before a florist even opens their sketch pad or pitches a single idea, they have to study the planner's specific aesthetic. Whether they specialize in modern luxury or European-inspired celebrations or destination events.
Right, doing your homework, basically.
Exactly. And then they have to ask the right questions, not what color roses do you want, but things like, what are the guest experience goals? What are the venue aesthetics?
How does this installation serve the actual flow of the evening?
Yes. What's fascinating here is, wait, I stole your line.
No, go for it. But seriously, what's fascinating here is the psychological shift that triggers for the planner.
Right, tell me about that shift.
When a florist asks about the guest experience, rather than just, the flower count, the planner suddenly realizes this person sees the entire board, not just their own little puzzle piece.
They get the big picture.
Exactly. Planners aren't just buying flowers. They are fundamentally buying peace of mind. They want a creative partner who understands the underlying architecture of the event.
It makes me think of the relationship between an architect and a master builder.
Oh, that's a good comparison.
Right, because the architect, the luxury planner in this case, has the grand vision. They see the entire house, how the light hits the windows, how all the rooms connect.
And the florist is the builder.
Exactly. If the builder just shows up and drops off a massive pile of premium bricks without bothering to understand the blueprint, the whole house is going to fall apart. The bricks might be the highest quality on the market, but if they aren't serving the structure, they're useless.
And serving that structure really means anticipating the points of failure. The guide emphasizes that true partners are strictly solution-oriented.
Because things always go wrong.
Guaranteed. In live events, unexpected challenges are an absolute given.
Okay, let's unpack this.
Yeah.
Studying styles and listening is great, but how does a florist actually prove they are a partner when things go wrong? I mean, live events are basically structured chaos.
They are, and they prove it in the crucible of a crisis. Let's say a sudden unpredicted windstorm hits an outdoor setup on the coast.
Oh, no.
Right, 3 hours before guest arrival. The floral arches are taking a total beating. Now, a basic vendor panics. They look at the planner and ask, what should we do?
Which is the worst thing you can say.
Exactly. It immediately transfers the stress and the mental load back onto the planner, who is probably already dealing with, like, the caterer's blown fuse or something.
Right, they don't have time to manage you.
Exactly. But a true partner adapts silently and swiftly. They approach the planner and say, hey, the wind is too high for the original arch, so we've already restructured it into a low, grounded semicircle. It frames the ocean perfectly, and we secured it with extra hidden weights.
Wow, we already did it.
Yes. It looks intentional, and it's completely safe.
Yeah.
They don't present the problem, they present the executed solution.
The mindset shift there is taking total ownership. It's moving from tell me what to do to don't worry, I have this handled.
And that is the threshold you have to cross. Once you've established that psychological alignment and proven you can manage the risk, well, then you earn the right to actually execute the physical design.
But I mean, all that psychological alignment is totally useless if the actual physical product looks cheap or, uninspired. The execution has to match the mindset.
Oh, 100%.
And the guide is incredibly strict about the physical materials required at this tier. You just cannot create a high-end luxury experience with standard supermarket flowers.
No, definitely not.
They demand premium blooms. But the sources don't just mean pretty flowers. They specifically call out materials like sweet peas and delicate orchids, which is honestly wild to me because sweet peas are notoriously fragile.
Oh, they're so temperamental.
Right. They will almost instantly if you look at them wrong.
Yeah, and using highly temperamental materials in a 12-hour live event isn't just about aesthetics. It's actually a massive flex of logistical capability.
A flex. How so?
Well, when you walk into a room and see thousands of perfectly hydrated, completely unbruised sweet peas, you aren't just seeing a beautiful flower. You are seeing the result of flawless temperature control, precise transportation timing, and expert handling.
Oh, I see. The materials themselves convey a rarity that signals extreme luxury.
Exactly.
And they aren't just like putting these fragile flowers and nice vases on tables. The sources focus really heavily on statement installations, the big wow moments.
Yes, the things people actually remember.
Exactly. We're talking about massive floral arches, hanging flower chandeliers, and just entire floral ceilings suspended over the dance floor.
These installations totally dictate how the guests move through the space. They force you to look up to feel enveloped by the whole environment.
They literally transform a standard ballroom into another world.
They really do.
Here's where it gets really interesting. I'm trying to visualize the mechanics of this, and it sounds less like floristry and more like structural engineering.
Oh, it absolutely is structural engineering.
Because you're taking these incredibly delicate, fragile, organic materials that need constant hydration, and you're blending them with heavy-duty event construction. It's like trying to build a suspension bridge, but your building materials are alive.
Alive and very thirsty.
Right. They need to drink water constantly, and they bruise if you touch them too hard. Plus, you have rigging, weight loads, cables, safety regulations. You are literally suspending hundreds of pounds of water and plant material over a dance floor where people are spinning around in expensive gowns.
The logistics of that are totally mind-bending.
Yeah, how does that even work?
Well, it's a massive technical challenge, disguised as something delicate and pretty. But what adds an entirely new layer of complexity to this engineering is one of the biggest current trends in luxury weddings right now, which is sustainability.
Right. The guide zeroes in on this. Sustainable practices are really becoming a non-negotiable hallmark of luxury.
They really are.
Things like locally sourced flowers, seasonal blooms, fully reusable structures, and crucially, foam-free arrangements.
Yes, the phone-free movement is huge.
For a long time, the industry relied entirely on floral foam. You know, that green, spongy brick you'd stems into? It holds water perfectly and keeps the stems locked in place at any crazy gravity-defying angle.
It's essentially single-use microplastic.
Exactly. It just ends up in a landfill.
And environmentally conscious couples are increasingly rejecting it, which forces a really profound operational shift for the florists. Think about the engineering challenge you just described.
The hanging ceiling over the dance floor.
Right. How do you build a massive, gravity-defying floral ceiling without the very material that was invented to make it possible?
Honestly, I genuinely don't know. If you take away the sponge that holds the water, how are these thousands of stems staying hydrated for an entire day near hot stage lights without, like, dripping dirty water onto the guests below?
You basically have to fundamentally reinvent your mechanics. Florists who operate at this elite tier are using intricate cages made of chicken wire to hold the stems structurally.
Okay, chicken wire. But what about the water?
For hydration, they use individual hidden water tubes for the most fragile stems. Or they engineer complex water-wicking systems using tightly packed, damp sphagnum moss wrapped in wire.
Wow, that sounds incredibly tedious.
Oh, it requires meticulous mathematical planning. You have to calculate exactly how much water the moss can hold before it drips, how much weight the rigging can bear, and how long specific flower varieties can survive in those exact conditions.
So the constraint itself forces innovation.
Exactly.
If you can master a foam-free, large-scale hanging installation, you aren't just, following a trendy sustainability thing. You are demonstrating a staggering level of technical mastery.
Which is exactly what planners want to see.
Right. When a luxury planner sees a florist pull that off flawlessly, the constraint actually proves to the gatekeepers that they are dealing with an elite professional. The amateurs are weeded out immediately because they literally cannot build the structure without the crutch of the foam.
That constraint completely separates the basic suppliers from the true creative partners. You have to be fluent in these complex visual mechanical languages to even get a seat at the table.
But okay, you can build the greatest foam-free chandelier in the world, but if it's not installed before the lighting crew needs to run their cables, or if the florist's delivery trucks block the caterer's load in.
Then the entire event is a disaster.
Exactly. The physical product is really only half the battle. The rest is the unseen machinery.
The glamorous finished installations are obviously what end up on Instagram. But the rigorous business infrastructure behind the scenes is what actually secures the contract in the first place. Professional communication is totally non-negotiable.
Yeah, the guide outlines the need for highly detailed proposals, complex mood boards, exact minute-by-minute installation timelines.
Proactive updates on global flower availability.
Yes, and rock-solid backup plans for every conceivable failure point.
Right. And the guide wraps all of this under the concept of white glove service.
Yeah.
And it goes way beyond just showing up on time.
Tell me about it. This sounds exhausting.
It is. This involves conducting multiple physical venue walkthroughs with the planner months in advance to measure sightlines. It means creating full-scale physical mock-up arrangements so the client can see exactly what the centerpieces will look like before ever signing off.
Which means you're building them twice.
Exactly. It requires bringing dedicated, uniformed installation teams, providing emergency, on-site support staff who just stand in the shadows for the duration of the event with backup blooms in case a guest accidentally knocks over an arrangement.
Wow, just waiting in the wings.
Yeah. And then ensuring completely seamless breakdown, which often happens at 2 in the morning, so the venue is totally spotless by sunrise.
Okay, so the machinery also extends to how these businesses network and validate their standing in the B2B space, right? Planners at this level do not respond well to cold emails. They need social proof and professional validation before they ever take a meeting.
Oh, absolutely. Cold pitching a luxury planner is almost guaranteed to fail.
So how do florists even get in the same room as these elite planners if cold outreach doesn't work? The guide points out that this matchmaking actually happens on specialized platforms.
Right. It highlights a tool called Weddizer.
Yes, Weddizer. It essentially acts as a trust verification engine for the industry. Florists use Weddizer to showcase their premium portfolios, high-resolution before and after setup videos, and their professional network.
And planners use it to silently vet a florist's capabilities. They want to see who else they've collaborated with and validate their standing in the luxury market before they even initiate contact.
So it functions as a digital ecosystem where reputation is basically quantified.
Exactly. If a planner sees that a florist successfully collaborated on a 500-person event with another vendor they already trust, that drastically lowers the perceived risk. It's about establishing credibility long before the first handshake.
So what does this all mean? I see the logic there, but realistically, I want to look at the financial math of all this extra effort.
Okay, let's look at the math.
Because if I'm a small florist or maybe an independent consultant in any field listening to this, I'm doing the calculations in my head right now. Dedicated emergency support teams, multiple on-site venue walkthroughs.
It adds up fast.
It does. Building a massive $2,000 physical mock-up arrangement that I might not even get fully paid for just to secure the bid. This sounds incredibly expensive. It honestly sounds like a fast track to bankruptcy.
It can feel that way, yeah.
Is the return on investment really there to offer all this rigorous white glove service, or is this just an only the rich survive scenario where you just eat away your profit margins to look high end?
That is the exact trap most businesses fall into, honestly.
Yeah.
They view